Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to have the flip through of all these little witchy journals. I've got 3 of them. Now this is the one that kind of inspired me. It was like a Louise Heinzel look for like a book she did way back. And it was like a smaller book, but she has so many different layers and things going on in hers. Mine isn't quite that detailed, but I really had fun making these. Now, your sneaky peek today is these little kitty cats. Now, Chestita had sent me a bunch of little kitty cats, and they're all about the same look, but I thought they were cute. So I kind of stuck them in here. And I had been keeping this from one of my paper pads from Michael's, and it's like the phases of the moon, and I thought it went perfect with this kind of witchy look. And it's mostly greens and purples, so that's what you'll see. You've got a little bit of off-white in here as well. Let's see if I got you over far enough. This was like something else from Chestita, so I just used that as a tuck. Used up the last of my little whatever those are with poison and antidote and all that. She sent a few of these too that had like there's S and an L in here. I used some of my washi that was in here. That's Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. And I used some of my little word things from the sticker books. I've got a Wonders of a Witch and a huge black cat. I added some of the bats in here as well, and a few stickers that I had. I forget what I've got in here. Oh, I just kind of used some neutrals that were purple or green. Here I've got one of my Raven Crows. This one has Cheers Witches on that washi. So I just kind of filled it up with things that I had. A few little sticker this is and that. There's a ghost. Here's the S. Another one of those. This is little trick-or-treaters. So it's kind of like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But it's fun. And I've got 2 sizes of the cat thingies. Go see, here's the smaller version. But yeah. And here's another one of those. I think she's a trick-or-treater. I'm not really sure. But I've got a little bat and a spider hanging up behind there. I don't know if that's the night before Christmas or what that came from. That looks like Tim Burton to me. Another kitty cat. Yeah, kitty cat and bats are all through here. And then this is the last page. Just got a little bit of different things on here. Another one of those. It's got like a yellow. And then I have green on the back side. Actually, the whole thing was green, and then that got kind of covered up. But I really liked how that turned out, too. It's just kind of like a little fun book for maybe a little girl or something for Halloween. All right, so let's start with this one, because that's the very first one I did. And I think I got those in order. All right, now this girl, I've got 2 more her, and I got 2 more of these circles. So I'm a happy camper, and I will be doing something else with them later on. I've got some more of the curator pieces up in here. I got another one of those see-through moths. And the kitty cat, here was the Shake Well. And I got the skull right on her shoulder. Got the 13 right here with the Crow Buddy. And it's from Regions Beyond. I got some of that lace. That lace is hard to get all the little pieces and parts out of, I can tell you that. Now here's the broom fabric, or broom 12 by 12, that had all the advertisements on it on the back side, and I was able to save a bunch of them. That says smoldering rubbish with an old broomstick. And here she is with all of her little mushrooms. And this one is not as decorated as the other ones were, because I started putting more into these other ones. I was just feeling my oats on this one and seeing what all I could do. Here's the Heat Embossed Glaze from Tim Holtz. The little trick-or-treaters. Of course, I heat embossed this so he'd be nice and shiny. In these very woods. And here's the best haunted house in town. You like my use of that, Wayne? And then I've got the spider climbing up it. I've got embodied spirits haunted him by night. And then this is a pull out. This was on the top side. I don't think there was anything down below this. That was the thing. This was the only thing on the page. The 12 by 12 I ordered, and then I didn't realize it wasn't really going to fit. So I made a fold out. So that's what I got there. But see, the colors really go with everything else that's here. And this was a Craftley Hall wax seal. I've got farewell up there. And this says, "Are you tired of trick-or-treating all alone? Join our community for free and meet nicely disguised guys and gals." It's dust all over. And the very same interests, treats mainly. Become our 666th member and win a devil's mask. And it's got a star here. It says hardly used. Where is that at up here? Oh, devil's mask, hardly used. Okay. TNT community. There's a pretty little witch lady from Chestita, and I got Wicked down below. The bricks are going in an odd direction, but, you know, I didn't have it enough to go that way. I got Wicked, Salem, Massachusetts. She looks like Sarah Sarandon. What do you think? Does she look like Sarah Sarandon to you? Oh. And then I've got the laboratory. So I put pharmaceutical chemist here. And I've got the word poison and poison over here. Maybe she's the pharmaceutical chemist. She's got her some flowers there. And I just put bubbling and churning down there. I don't like that it's so white. So I'm going to rub some vintage photo over it. And maybe on this one too. And then we have this scene that's got the, I don't know what those are. If they're eagles or griffins or, I don't know exactly what those animals are. But you've got your person in the foreground here. And jack-o'-lanterns and things going on. This little boy, he looks like a Tim Holtz. Maybe it's a girl, I don't know. But they're on a broomstick. They got a pumpkin head in their lap. I think there's another pumpkin head up here. And then they got their little moon. I always thought that was such an odd-looking little person. Here's a Craftley Hall little girl in the cemetery. And then our Beetlebug and Owl. And then this page has got to do with animals. Various breeds and sizes of pets. Large variety of cats, owls, and fogies. And I can only imagine that a fogy is some sort of bird. Crows, rodents, bats, and much more. Prizes dependent on size and magical competences. Mademoiselle Mandragore Mystic Gardens. Okay. So I decided to put all kinds of bugs and things on here since that's what they were mentioning. So I've got a little rat here. I got a cat, the crow, a bat, got an owl, got a beetle, maybe. And then I got the bouquet of flowers and stuff up there. Now this is the cool piece. This is something from Wayne. And it's sort of like a rice paper or like a collage paper. And it had this image on it. Now I'm going to put another one on one of the simple journals I'm getting ready to get into. It's such a cool look. And I've got biology down here. I've got a lost revenge, and I'm not really sure what I was thinking about with that one. But biology, the science that deals with all forms of life, including their classification, physiology, chemistry, and interactions. The structure and functioning of a particular organism. Okay, and here's our little bat boy again with his bat balloon. And then I've got this physician surgeon with a bat, and he's got a little skull. Wasn't quite sure what to put here. I was kind of running out of ideas on this one. And then I've got the Condemned, and I cut her out of one of those little rectangular pieces, and I got State of Mental Wretchedness, because she doesn't look very happy. Does she look happy? No, I don't think she looks happy. So this has also got some of the, what do you call it, texture paste on it. But it was the same color, and it sucked up the same color as the background. So it's really, really hard to see. I could have went over it. You can kind of see it when I tilt it at an angle. I decided to leave it. Sometimes you don't want to fight something. You just want to let it be. If it wants to be that way, I only am happy enough to let it be the way it wants to be. Okay. I kind of emulated the same things that was on the other. This has got little cutouts or scrap pieces, because here's one with a little texture glaze. I've got my same lace down here. I've got Poison and 13. Here's one that's got that spray on it. And then the back side is just a piece of Tim Holtz, whatever. So I always liked this lady's weird looking hair situation. I never could figure out what she had going on up here. And then it looked like she had two pieces coming out back here. So I don't know what that style is. And these people that were like up behind them, I kept thinking that was them in their, witch regalia, in their, dress up gear. And here's one that's got the little, I like this little graveyard with the ghost flying up. I thought that was a cool look, so I kept doing that. Magical internship, sorcerer's apprentice needed for renowned wizarding business consultancy, specializing in tea leaves, brew cooking experiences, brewing machine, beneficial. And I've got the parting guests down here because they're departing. This has got, you cast a spell on me. That was a little piece from Wayne. That was perfect. I got Boo down here, and it looks like the little loop goes around the kitty cat's neck. Got the big 31. And then it had a phrase in one of the sticker books, Days and Nights has 31. And I thought, well, let's just put that there. Got my Scarecrow in here with the little Undertakers. And then I believe you're scared, because it's a scarecrow. A scared crow. However you want to look at that. Okay. Then this cool piece, background from Craftly Hall. I like that to go with these black and whitey kind of things. I've got a Deep Enchantment. And I got this from some digital. I can't remember which one. Maybe from Pink Monarch Prints. But I like the little light, because, by the light of the moon and all that kind of good stuff. They're kind of creepy up here under the moon, too. And then we've got another one of those Remembrance. This is Hemlock Root. Undertaker's coffins and stuff. And this is more of that texture paste. It's a kind of a greeny, weird color. Now, this is one of those backdrop things, and I've still got a few of them over here. I have a few paper dolls left. Like, I've got the confectioner one. I've got the one with the moon. Got a bug one, the word one. I used that on the background of one of the window things, and I think I've got more of the windows coming in. I wanted to use them all up, but I really loved that look, so I got some more coming in. And here's some of the cathedral, and that's another one of the cathedral. But I have an idea. I saw somebody's make that I really liked, so I'm going to try to do something either on the covers of some of these books with those or whatever. Okay, we got Strychnine up here. Something Dreadfully Wicked is there. This was a piece of paper that I had done stamping on, so I just cut that down and put it as my background for this page, because this had such a stylized, like, drawing look. I thought that went really well over here. Now, see, here's those little boys. That's the perfect size for them to go on that other scarecrow one, and I didn't find them until later on. Okay. So we have Spirit of Ammonia up there. We got Wicked. It's got some cool orangey shades that goes with these down here. And I got the Jack-o'-lantern. There's some red tones in there, so I thought that red goes with that. Now I have a little bit of these books that was left over. I had some paper pad that I used the other year for one of the Halloween books, and had a little bit of that left over. So this that came off of the back with all those other advertisements I've been showing you, that came from it. It's got grimoires, rare books, Stutzy books, used school books, magical maps, cookbooks. Now, I went and took my stuff. I had like 6 of my paper bag journals for Halloween made. So I went down to see the shop in the new location to see what I had on the shelf, take my inventory. I'm telling you, people are buying. One woman come in and bought 3 big journals. I still got to figure out which ones those were from my inventory. But she says that I'm a pretty consistent seller. So now that we're in a new location, it's hard to tell if I'm going to be able to keep up or not. So I better get with it. So anyhow, I'll let you know. I got to go back down and probably take these in really soon. So I'll see what it looks like when I get back down there. This has got academic definition relating to education, educational studies, and educational institution, or the educational system, scholarly or intellectual. So I thought all of that went really good over here. This looks like the spine of a book. And then this had that crazy guy again. And I gave him the name of Everett Payne because he looks like he's in pain. But this little piece, I kind of trimmed out that one spider to look like it's crawling out of his ear. And he would definitely be in pain if there was a spider climbing out of his ear. Okay. And then we have our spider web over here. And it says trimmed spider hair. So I thought that was perfect to go here, Wayne. We got the spider climbing down the wall. And then we've got our pharmaceutical chemist over here. I never did put anything in here. I don't know if I will. I might just leave it bare. And then we got this one, which is, it's got a lot of the pieces from that one old paper pad that I had, because the keys were in it, and these things were in it as well. I got a guy looking up at a wall here, and this little girl with she's got kind of an elf ear. So I've used her in different things, like way back, a couple years back, I used her in the tower. Remember, she was trapped in the tower? It says, doing her best to conceal herself. She's kind of black, in a black dress, so it's against this black background. All right, and then we have this page that has the spider and a old, kind of nothing in this hallway. It kind of looks gloomy. And I got poison and formaldehyde up here because he looks like he's been kept on some formaldehyde. And I got take the dead dry bones, and I cut this moon in half, or I think it was already in half. I was just using whatever I had on that page. This is some more texture paste, and the name for that stencil was Decayed, so I thought, perfect. Okay. Now we have one more. This is the last one. This is the one I just got done decorating the other day, so you were able to see how I finished that out. Everybody said they wanted to see me decorating it, so I did it on there, on film. I've got By the Light of the Moon. I've got more of that lace. I've got Witch's Brew, potion number probably 666, but I covered it up with her nose. What does that say? Brewed with only the finest, all natural ingredients in the Grand Tradition of Salem's Finest Witches. Okay. 1692. And we got a few bats. These bats came out of the same pack that had these in it in the windows. And I finally used them up. Now, I did get in here with the corner spider web stamp and put that on here. And I thought that turned out pretty cool. It needed a little something else over here. And she's got these big mushrooms. So Wayne had stamped out this mushroom. I colored up a little bit. And I stuck it over there. And he had sent me that cool image there as well. So I've got the spider and a little bit of the texture paste. It's kind of, you can't see it, but you can feel it. And then this is the other texture paste image. So it's kind of like all around here. There are others. Oh, smoldering rubbish with an old broomstick is what's on that one. And here's the witch with her apothecary area. I thought these looked like a little archway or like a chimney, a fireplace kind of a situation. And you're walking back in there to go to her secret apothecary. And then I had some of this brick wall out here. And then I had a little bit of a brick wall up here with some of that curator. And then I put a sensitive soul. He's pretty sensitive. He doesn't have any clothes on. Here's his hat, though. Cat in a hat. And then I've got a wonderful secret. So here she's got her wizard outfit on. Here's her spell book. I like this kid's cough syrup, so I got that to where it would show. And I've got unfiltered poison on this one. The what? Let me pick it up so I can see it. The mix of bone dust, gnome's toes, and dragon saliva. Oh, God. Okay. So we have a little bit of stuff on here to decorate it with. And then we have this. This is that background piece that I had from the trees. And so I used it in here for this piece. Precipitated chalk. I have no idea what that is. But I think she's got her magic bubble going on there. I've got another corner spider web. And I've got the spider and a skull and condemned. I thought that. And then this is witch by the pricking of my thumb. Something wicked this way comes. Woo. And I have one of the draping spider webs on this page. And it needed a little bit of something over that black. So I thought that worked out pretty good. And then here's the yo-yo spider girl. It almost looks like an ant in a way, but they only have 6 legs. So here's our favorite little guy. And here's where I'd put that vellum in behind there. So it kind of looked like there was a window there. This has crow's foot concentrated extract. Use with caution. And here's her little crow down here. Now, I got in here and kind of filled in a few little gaps and things. It's okay, but, you know, it is what it is. You can almost not see the crow. That's the only problem. So I don't know what to do about that. Maybe he's hiding because he doesn't want to go into this extract up here. And here is where I filled in. These are the pages that you got to kind of see me do from here on out. So I filled in more things here. I had a couple of these die cuts done. I put the word boo up here. That was from that one sticker pad I still haven't used up. And then I put a little butterfly here, and I cut out a spider and put here. So it kind of got rid of a lot of the white area so you don't see it as badly. And then there's in the middle a boiling cauldron. So that's that scene again. And here is that same texture paste, that green, that looks like it's the smoke coming out of a cauldron. And here it actually does. Here's the only place it worked. I found another one of these, so I'll put that down here. And I found this little girl that looks like she's sort of witchy. To me, she looks witchy. So I've got her on here because I didn't want to cover up any of this. I didn't want to cover up that. So I thought that worked the best of all of those. Okay, and that's what I got on the back side. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all the witchy books. And I think, yeah, From Regions Beyond, By the Light of the Moon, and Collector of Curiosities. Because she kind of collected curious things, I think is why hers wasn't quite as witchy as the rest of them. All right. Well, thank you for coming by to visit. I appreciate all my watchers and viewers. And come back again and see what I got going. I'm going to be working on more things for Halloween as long as I can. So keep an eye out and see what I got going next. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.